Hi, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, with another video. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm excited to do this video. I'm going to revisit my Cracker Jack collection, 1914-1950 Cracker Jack collection over the past year here. Since I last shown my Cracker Jack cards, I've added to my collection and also added a book recently that gave me the idea to revisit my Cracker Jack cards. Cracker Jack cards were my favorite pre-war cards in my collection, and also show you my favorite Christy Mathewson card that I have in my collection. So we'll start with the book. This is was done by Tom Zappala and his wife Ellen. Just a fantastic book on the history of the candy Cracker Jack, but also a biography of all the players in the set. Here's what the Cracker Jack box used to look like back then in 1914, 1915. So if you're looking for a book on Cracker Jack cards, this would probably be the one to pick up. Now, we'll start with the 1914 cards and give you kind of the difference between the 14 and 15 cards. I have a 14 card here, example of a 1914 card of Tommy Leach. This is one of the, I think, the best cards in the 1914 set. You see the red background, the Cracker Jack, the grass field here in fielding position. He was a third baseman. Now, the 1914 cards would come directly out of the Cracker Jack box. So you're going to see staining on most of the cards, and this has quite a bit of staining on the back here, you're going to see right there. And it would have you kind of a bio of the player, but also on the bottom here of just a little advertisement for the cards. These were very thin stock directly out of the box. So very hard to find in high grade, especially anything above a PSA 5. You're going to pay a premium for the 1914 Cracker Jack cards compared to the 1915 cards. Now, probably the most expensive, is the most expensive card in the 1914 set. You're not going to see, hey, it's Ty Cobb or it's Joe Jackson, but that's not the case. The most expensive card you can pick up is this one here, the Christy Mathewson horizontal card. Very scarce, hard to find. I think PSA is only graded like 20 of these particular cards. One, the last in auction I noticed went for a PSA 1 went for $26,000. $26,000 for a PSA 1 Christy Mathewson 1914 card. God, that would be a bucket list card for me. If someone has that card that makes videos, please post it. I would love to see your Christy Mathewson 1914 card. It might be the most expensive horizontal card, baseball card of all time. You're talking 2 or 3. Some of these are going for $400,000+ in low grade of a 14 Mathewson card. Now I have the 15 card, which is interesting, is they changed the card entirely. And I have the 15 card. It's still not very cheap, but it's my favorite Christy Mathewson card here. Here he is, a portrait card. And just I'm kind of speechless. I love this card. It's in an SGC2. These don't always come up for auction. You might see 1 or 2 of them each year. I didn't even see one of these, I don't think, at the National. So, I mean, just a great pickup for me in my collection this past year here. On the back here, you're going to see some staining. What's interesting about the 1915 cards is the back is upside down. So you can see here the 14 and 15 that the 15's upside down, and it was reason it's upside down is meant to for you to be able to see a back in an album. The 1915 down below here, you're going to see that you're able to turn in one coupon and 10 cents and you'd get a Cracker Jacks album to put your cards in. Now the 14, as I was mentioning, you can only get them directly out of the box. In the 1915 cards, you'd be able to get them out of the box like this one here, or you would be able to mail in one coupon and 25 cents and you'd be able to get the entire set of Cracker Jack cards. So pretty credible. For 25 cents, the entire 176 cards. That includes Joe Jackson, Ty Cobb, or Walter Johnson. Wouldn't you love to have that in your collection? So the 1915, this is Christy Mathewson. I also have the Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins. Here's Edward Collins. I think the best second baseman of all time. Six-time World Series champ, career batting average of .333, 3,400 hits to his name. His nickname, I'm going to all these different players here. I'm going to show you all have a nickname. Christy Mathewson was Matty, or the Big Six. His nickname was Cocky, very cocky player. Just a great Eddie Collins. And my photo of the day is going to be Eddie Collins. Here's a die-cut photo of him, 1920 Type 1 photo. It's mounted on a thicker stock, which is typical for back then. They would do that. So the great Eddie Collins for the photo of the day. I also have Three Fingers Mordecai Brown here. And the reason for his nickname, as most of you know, is in a farming accident when he was 5 years old. He's missing. He lost part of two fingers, and because of that, he had a devastating knuckle curve that Ty Cobb said was the best pitch he's ever faced, that knuckle curve. Him and Christy Mathewson were the two best National League pitchers at that time. I also have here Rabbit Moranville, his nickname. One of the original clowns of baseball. He would imitate umpires by putting on crazy glasses, or players in their batting stance. He would do that when he was out shortstop. A lot of the photos you see, Type 1 photos of him, is always goofing around in front of the camera. Hall of Fame player, shortstop, Rabbit Moranville. And the reason for his nickname is he's always jumping up and down, never standing still at shortstop. How about the Crab, Johnny Evers here. Tinkers, Evers to Chance, the great double play combination. Very Crab, not only because it's basically the way he picked up a big ground ball, but also probably used because he was pretty crabby out there, always arguing with umpires and didn't get along with his shortstop, Joe Tinker. How about a Burt Shooten? Jackie Robinson's first permanent manager. Just, you can see these cards, just beautiful. The reason why this is my favorite set, one, heck, it's Cracker Jacks Americana. Two, just a red background, just beautiful, beautiful cards. What can I say? My favorite set, pre-war set of all time. I also have here this one's kind of favored out, just Herbie Moran. As you can see, some of the cards you're going to see graded, and they will still grade them. They're missing like the corners here. And that was because they were placed in that particular photo album that I mentioned earlier. And also you'll see a lot of the cards have, glue marks and stuff because they were stuck to that particular photo album. So I hope you enjoyed my Cracker Jack collection. A really cool book. Like I said, you can pick up out there pretty inexpensively. But I hope to keep picking up Cracker Jack cards they're not coming cheap nowadays. I mean, a PSA 1 of a, for instance, let's say this Herbie Moran here, you're talking $100, $125 for a PSA 1 common player. And you're talking thousands of dollars for a Chrissy Mathewson or a Walter Johnson, especially a Ty Cobb or a Joe Jackson. So, hey, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.